Hey folks, welcome back to Jerome Bee Farm and Homestead. It is Sunday, June, I think it's the 11th, it may be the 12th, I'm not sure. Don't have my phone to go check, but you can look at a calendar and figure it out. So we are approaching mid-June. So this bee season has flown by, it seems like to me. Everything else, the gardening and everything, it's just gone crazy. So it is terribly hot today. It is 95 and humidity is like 65%. Heat index is 109 again. Man, it is brutal. So here in the shade, it's not too bad. But if you're out in the direct sun, man, it'll sap you. I got distracted before I came down here to the bee yard, and I was pulling weeds in the garden because all this rain we've had, I haven't been able to get down there and weed, and they are just out of control. It makes me so mad. I spend so much time just pulling weeds, so I'm gonna have to do something different. I'm gonna probably go to some no-till in more of my little raised beds because I just can't keep up with it. I just can't do it. It's not doable. So today I'm gonna do three things. I'm gonna follow up on that Pissy Hive number 16 that stung the crap out of my wrists in those crappy gloves. And I ordered new gloves and they're not here yet, but I think they will be much more congenial today because it's in the middle of the afternoon. So it's in that last video I did on it, sun was setting. So they were not in any mood for me to be messing with them. The second thing I'm going to do is I want to check on Hive 99, formerly known as Hive 13. So I combined two failed nukes on top of that, and I put an excluder in there just in case there's a queen up in that top, so the queens couldn't get together and have a bad queen kill a good queen. So I'm going to check that top, look for a queen, and if I don't see one, I'll pull that excluder out. The third thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get into Hive 20 that swarmed. So I think the prior video to this one was that where I did a 50-50 split. And no, wait, that's a different one. So Hive 20 I reduced, and it's a single deep. It's very strong. I put a frame of eggs in there, frame number 5. I want to check that, see if they're pulling emergency queens off of that. Just a quick check. If I've got it in me still left after these first two. And Hive 20 is out in the sun, and these other two are not. So let's get started. Okay, here's Hive 16, the one that ate me up on the wrists, which I have bad gloves. That's the reason I got ate up. But they were grumpy, but my gloves should have protected me, and they didn't. So, Mr. B, focus. Those are no bueno. Do not get Mr. B gloves. I got these, I think I got them on Amazon, maybe eBay, I don't remember. I ordered them online. They were cheap, and so you get what you pay for. My smoker fuel is damp because of all the rain. A little bit of rain gets in my bucket in there that's got the pine straw. Hard to keep this going, so I'm going to smoke them down here at the entrance, just kind of as a precaution from the last time. So I'm not going queen hunting. I just want to make sure this hive is queen right. So what does queen right mean? It means you see eggs and you see worker brood that is forming, capped, and it's not drone cells, like indicating you have a queen, but it's a bad queen. Queen right means you got a good queen and she's in good condition. So no super. Okay, I moved the super off of here. I ran out of supers, so I was scrambling around finding supers that weren't being used, and this was one of them, and put them on hives that were producing. So we had us a really good flow this year. Wow, super fast cockroach. I got that sucker. Quite a few bees up around this top entrance. I see signs of being honey bound, but I'm not sure till I get in and I'll show you what I'm talking about. When you have a honey bound hive, when this top deep's full of honey, even your bottom might be full, but there's no place for the queen to lay. Even if the bottom has some empty frames and this is all full of honey, they will be prone to swarm. So when I see that in the top deep, it means they've drawn out quite a bit. So they may have that top full of honey, and that happens sometimes when you have a hive that's not queen right. They'll just pack nectar everywhere. So we don't know for sure if that's what's going on, but anytime you see cross comb up around the tops of your deep frames, sometimes that's a sign there's a lot of nectar packed in there. And look how many bees, and so you can see those little bridges across all over here. And it's even up on the inner cover here. So let's do our quick queen check up here. So I will clean this back off before we get in there. Man, I'm surprised to see so many bees, honestly. I figured this time of day the foragers would be all out. But this hive had a lot of brood in it before. The brood was kind of halfway, 2/3 up these frames and down the bottom. So if all that brood has emerged by now, that may be why it's so full. So I really do need to get another box on here. All I've got left is deeps, so I might have to make me a deep super. I hate to do that. Our flow is should be slowing down this time of year. At some point here, mid-June, you know. Boy, that's sticky. I've decided I don't like these. I either want a J-hook tool or a no-hook tool. This is solid honey packed on the outside frame. I could harvest this if I wanted, but I don't want. That'll be used for another hive. So I don't remember this being this full of honey before. Wow, this is the same thing. Yes, solid deep of honey. That weighs 10 pounds at least. I'm gonna go ahead and take this one out too, just to give me a little more room in case it gets crazy. They seem okay for now, which they did the other night too. I got my designer duct tape on my thumb. Man, this frame here looks the same. I don't think I had brood till one of these two frames here. Wow. Yeah, another heavy one. There's a little bit of brood right there. And as soon as it's emerged, they put nectar in it. So this next frame looks like it is a brood frame, or it was. Yeah, look at that. So last time this was full of brood, and see how the pattern ended at the bottom. So I assume it went on down into the next frame below, and I didn't see any eggs. So this was all brood, and they backfilled it with nectar. So my honey bound comments about seeing that there on the top, it looks like it's coming to fruition here. So when you got these bridges and you pull them apart, the bees get on them to get the honey off, and then when you push the frames together, they get trapped in there and get mummified. So give them some smoke when you put it back, or scrape those out. And I don't want to do any scraping on this hive because scraping tends to piss a hive off. And I'm no mood for them to be in a mood. God, this is heavy. So, all that brood was backfilled right there with honey, nectar, soon to be honey. And there's a few little worker cells left. Same thing, we got some drone brood there on the bottom. I think that was there before, but there were no swarm cells in here before. This hive here is a prime candidate to take off and swarm with all this population and no room to lay for a queen. But it's looking like we may not have a queen. I was hoping we wouldn't have to go into that bottom box, but in the interest of time, yeah, same thing, all honey, backfilling what's emerged. No larvae, no eggs. It's going to be no fun pulling this box off. It's going to be so heavy. A full deep of honey weighs right at 100 pounds, a little over 100 pounds. Yeah, same deal. Same. If I wasn't worried about this hive turning rank on me and stinging the crap out of me, I'd clean those up. And I'm trying to get out of here as fast as I can due to the heat. Same. A little bit of emerging workers and no eggs. Here's a little bit more. This must have been laid at a little bit later time than those others. But I don't see still nectar or eggs. Someone said they saw swarm cell last video over here. I didn't see one this time. There was one little cup, but it was empty. I still got them in there. Get out of there. I would so love to see a nice mated queen on this frame. It ain't happening. That's all pollen and nectar right there. No swarm cells. All honey. This next frame is all honey. All honey. All honey. So we do have us I'd say this is a honey-bound hive that is packed full of bees. So they're probably not swarming because there's no queen to swarm with. There's no swarm cells. So you got a bunch of bees here that their fate is to get older and die off. And this hive will gradually get weaker and succumb to wax moths, small hive beetle infestation. I am going to move this. Well, I can't. I was going to try and move it without those two frames so it'd be lighter, but they're laying. Well, I can still do that. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. That'll make it 20 pounds lighter. Get these together. Smashing a bee will also set a hive off. I've smashed a bee before and they just unload on me. They just come out in droves. It's not a fun thing. Okay, let's see what 20 pounds lighter feels like. That didn't make them happy. Jeez, man. Now I'm going to clean this up. That's why I'm smoking it so good. These really don't care for this at all either. All right, let's see what we can find down here in the bottom. On these hive tools, this is handy to have that hook but it doesn't work as good as just a pure hook tool because they don't have this on the other end, and it's real skinny. You can get it in there better. So if you don't have a hook tool, this is okay, but I like, if you're gonna have a hook and nothing else, and then have another tool that's just a plain tool that's got the curve on the end and flat on the other. The reason I say that, you can't hit this, if it's just a J-hook tool, you can't hit it on the end because there's no flat spot to hit it with your hand. Oh boy, they're pissed now. That's pretty full of nectar. And that's completely full. So that's one cool thing about this bee mate. You can set frames in it too. It's more than just a stand. See there how that works? There's a description in the video. In the video description, there's a link below where you can buy plans to build that. And I'm not affiliated with that guy at all. It's just I like it. Make it out of one buys if you can afford one buys these days. All nectar, honey, and the same. Here's some brood. I'm going to go get my light and see if I can see some larvae and eggs. Because if I do, I see a few larvae here. These bees are PO'd. Be right back. We've got eggs and larvae. We have us a good laying queen. See the white? And down here it gets younger. And you got eggs out here. So what we need to do is pull some of those. Well, I'll just leave those two frames out that are out. And when I put the top back on, I'll go run and get some empty frames, and I'll put them right in the middle here and scoot the others out. First, I got to get out of here and shut up. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I haven't got stung on the wrist yet. They aren't attacking my hands for some good reason. I don't know. Just in case, let's give it some smoke. I could go look over there, find a queen, get her marked. I could look for some swarm cells, but if there were swarm cells, I would think they would have been hanging off those frames there on the bottom of the top box. I'll just put this one back. This will be good winter store. So this hive went from not so strong to booming, but they wouldn't touch them honey supers for nothing. All right, let's get that other box on. My smoker fuel is damp, so I got to really crank it to get smoke out of it. Normally you want to be able to squeeze it like this and just roll out thick blue smoke, you know. Plus that burst of air ticks them off. That's stuck. Ay caramba! Oh, God. Okay. We're just going to pop this thing apart. 4 frames on each side. So it's queen right, that's good. Honey bound bad. If I had a super, I'd put it on. I could make a super out of deep. Strong as this is, I might do that. Just no more for the fact to get them to build out some comb. And I could use these 2 frames that are full of honey to put up there to get them started. We'll get this thing cleaned off. Brought my pen and queen catcher just in case. So if you ever want to not find a queen, be sure and have your pen ready. I got these little balls all over that I put this stuff in. At some point I'll come collect all these and melt it down. This is what I use, this type of wax, for coating my wax foundations. Give them extra wax. Get this propolis off. It's good not to fling this where you walk, like I just did over there. Look at this! Are you kidding me? This is a beast. There's a good thumbnail for you. Yeah, this hive is in beast mode. Our flow may be slowing down enough that they're not sending out, you know, as many foragers. Man, I think that's as good as it's going to get. You got a lot of bees like that, you're trying to get another box on, put it on at an angle like this, then you slowly slide it. Give the bees that are in the way a chance to move. And you don't kill near as many that way. Alright, this is temporary. I'm going to run and get me a couple of frames. And I'm going to get a deep box. Well, I've got some plastic foundation, but it's a year old and I don't know if they'll draw it out right or not, but I'll see what I've got up there. Okay, what I wound up with was a box that has all drawn comb, and some of it was in my garage up there, and looks like a little bit of wax moth damage, so they will clean that right up. So I opted not to go with all new frames, because after seeing the wax moth damage on these, I need to get them protected. So this strong hive will take good care of them. I'm going to take a few frames out so I can kind of manipulate it. These bees are going to be happy to get this extra space. I've never ran a 3 deep hive before, except when the top one was a honey super, and that's because I ran out. That was 2 years ago, and I bought 6 super since then, and I ran out again. Man, this thing is so full. So I won't be running an excluder. This is just for them to do whatever they want with. Man, look at them going up the frames. It's like a swarm moving in. They're all making dibs on which frame they get. Mine, mine. I don't think putting these other frames of honey up here is going to be needed to draw them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What did I do? Take too many out? Put these honey frames on the outside. And somehow I got down here with too few frames. One of the prerequisites of being a beekeeper is you got to be able to count to 10. So if you can't do that, you know, like us pros, you might think of picking up another hobby. Even us pros mess up every now and then. I am not a pro. I'd say I'm certifiably a novice. I learn stuff every year. Let's get that one on this side. Okay, I gotta go get 2 more frames. Again, we got some wax moth damage. Man, it's been a while since I've seen a hive this strong. Okay, for a quick inspection, that sure took a long time. And made them really mad. I did not get one sting. Can you believe that? That is a miracle. I better shut up before I jinx it. Let's get over to Hive 99. Here's 99. We're just going to check this top here. Look for a queen. If we don't find a queen, we're going to pull the excluder. Since I'm looking for a queen, I don't want to crank a bunch of smoke in here. Just enough to chill them out. I don't see a whole lot of bees. It's not a real strong hive. I see the main population is right here. There's pretty much nothing on these frames here. So when I'm using those honey frames from that other hive there later in the fall, bouncing out, this might be a good candidate to give some to. That dude is loaded. All right, they're just putting a little bit of nectar in there, so I'm keeping an eye out for a queen, virgin queens, anything queen-like. Eggs, larvae. Any brood up here is going to be drone brood, because these were both drone laying hives that went on top of here. It's peeking down there on the bottom. Yeah, so here's some prime laying area, and there's no eggs. See, here's what our queen was producing. That's all. See how it sticks up? That's all drone brood and worker comb. That's a bad thing. That is doomsday hive failure. It means your queen is not mated, or she ran out of fertilized eggs and she's shooting blanks. So we'll just let these emerge and that'll be okay. This hive will have more drones than normal for a while. These here has a few on it, but not near as many. Just quickly looking for that queen. This here is mostly backfilling nectar. There's a few larvae left on here. No queen. Good deal. Let me show you how I improvise a hive stand. Use your telescoping cover. You want it perpendicular to your hive. So if it normally goes on this way, turn it 90 degrees. You're just going to set it right on there. That way you only have 4 points touching in very small areas. Look on here real quick. Didn't see any queen on the queen excluder. This hive isn't as strong as I'd like to see it. I don't have time. We got one more hive to look at. We'll come back and check this later. Put this here as a reminder. Okay, let's go look at hive 20 real quick. I'm getting hot. We just got one frame we got to pull out and check and see if they're pulling down emergency queen cells. So we're going for frame 5 right there. We can smoke this one pretty good because there's no queen in here. So normally you don't want to run your queen off by giving a lot of smoke if you're going to be looking for a queen. And this time of year, propolis is like sticky putty, and it sticks to everything instead of flaking off. So I'm going to go straight to frame 5. So this was donated larvae and eggs, and I don't see one queen cup. So they think they're queen right. So you can see all this is larvae. So this was eggs out here towards getting closer to the edge. There were a lot of eggs. So they should have pulled down a queen cell if they're not queen right. So putting this in here did two things. It tells me if they're queen right or not, and if they weren't, it would keep them from going laying worker on me, because there would be brood pheromone in here suppressing the worker bees' need to start laying after they've been with that brood for a long time. There's nothing that even closely resembles a queen cup being pulled down. So they think they're queen right. So maybe there's a queen in here. We will check it back in a week. And this hive needs another box as well. That being said, I've got some boxes up there that they're getting a little bit of wax moth activity in them, so I need to get them on a hive. So since they think they're queen right, they didn't pull that out. I'm going to assume it is. And I'm going to go get another box and get on here because they're overcrowded. Okay, here's our 10 frame box with all drawn comb. There's a few in there that have a little bit of moth damage. Not too bad. Yeah, so I thought for a second I should take that brood frame and put it right in the middle of the top, but man, I am dying. It is so hot. I need to get out of here and get cooled off. So I hope you liked the video. Give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe on your way out, and we'll catch you on the next beekeeping video. Y'all take care.